Hey YouTubians, it's Tony here from We Try Anything. The channel likes to try anything so you don't have to. What we're going to have a quick look at today is what I've been asked for a few times on this channel, is a update video to this, the Apple Watch Series 3. Now, as you can see here, first of all, I'll just quickly show you just a kind of a recap on the packaging if you haven't seen the previous video. It came in this lovely kind of very strong or very sturdy box, which was delivered by a courier, and as you can see here, the usual Apple way of kind of packaging stuff. It's got your polystyrene left and right, or your styrene or your foam left and right, just to keep the packaging nice and clean and protected. So if I remove that, and as you can see here, I mean, it is Apple Certified Refurbished, which is highlighted down here, and I'll just quickly show you. And that's the real main difference with this packaging, is that it isn't as it were, you know, your usual Apple branded stuff. It is from their refurbished section, or refurbished part of the store, which you can view online or purchase it where we purchased for, which was from the actual Apple Store app via iPhone, which was very easy to do indeed. So as you can see in the actual watch itself, the watch box, it is sturdy, it is lovely, and you know, very strong indeed. So it's well protected, and also it also has the designation of it's designed by athletes for Apple and Nike. Nike is the American pronunciation of Nike. I prefer to say Nike. I know I've been picked up on by a few people about how I say Nike, and it's Nike or Nike, but I'll always be referring to Nike as Nike in this video. So as you can see, this sturdy packaging, very nice, usual Apple affair, and it just came as a nice surprise, because especially as it's their kind of refurb department, it was, you know, a very nice surprise really. And you know, I mean, I have seen these packages go on eBay for sale really, which is quite surprising. So you know, I've kept this just if I ever do sell the watch, from, you know, get an upgraded version, which I don't intend to, but you know, I've got to say, it's as much as part of the experience of having the watch as is the watch itself. So very impressed with that, especially for a refurb. Right then, so I moved away the packaging, so here's the actual watch itself. Now for a refurbished product, I've got to say the quality of it is phenomenal. And I've spent a bit of time with it. I mean, I've not noticed any issues or any problems with the actual materials, or any cracks or dents or anything on the actual watch face or the case itself. And you know, you can see all the parts of it. I mean, this is the 42mm case, as it works. I prefer the larger case on my wrist, and I've got to say, you know, in terms of quality and the actual strap and stuff like that, it really did feel like it was practically brand new. And kind of Apple do like to say that they replace all the, you know, the parts that need replacing, like a new battery, watch face and stuff like that. And I've got to say, you know, I can see it in the quality of the actual materials and stuff like that. There's no dents, there's no marks, there's no scrapes, nothing. And you know, for a product that you get from Apple that is actually cheaper than what you pay for the kind of standard product on the Apple website or via Apple or in store, it is, I just think it's a, you know, it's a way of saving money against something that is quite expensive anyway. But other than that, yeah, cracking. Moving on to the actual kind of living with it in terms of the strap and stuff. I mean, as this is the Nike version of the watch, or the Nike Plus version, I purchased this because I did like the strap, and I did like the extras that came with it, like Nike Run Club and stuff like, or Nike, the Nike app and what have you. The strap, it is comfortable. It's obviously a silicone strap, and you can easily remove it, which I'll quickly show you in a sec. It is affixed to itself via these kind of holes, or the actual buckle going into the holes, and it, you know, you pop that through there, and it is easy to put on and easy to take off. Let me just get this off that screen. And you know, the only problem I've had is actually trying to find the right buckle or the right hole, because obviously there's no way, unless you physically indicate where you want that buckle to go, or sorry, where you're used to having that buckle appearing in what hole to affix the watch. You can either have it too loose or too tight or what have you, and when you kind of have this strap going through, it sometimes can be a bit tighter than what you've initially anticipated when you pop that through the hole. So you may want to change the strap after a while, but I mean, I've grown to live with it really, and I've never had a problem. I've got the right kind of setting now, or right fitting, and it's been all right really. It's never came off my wrist, it's never came undone, and you know, I've never had a problem with it. I mean, obviously there's no marks on the actual strap or anything like that. So you know, it's been a really good, you know, it's a good little buckle, good strap. Now you can get some straps from Apple which start from £50 onwards, and I would probably personally, I'd veer towards eBay, because I know I've got, my wife's got a version of this watch which is the smaller case, which I think is the 38 mil, and she's got a magnetic strap, and you know, she swapped this out straight away because she didn't like the white silicone that came with it, so, or the black silicone, I'm just trying to remember which one I got, but she went for a metallic strap, which kind of it was magnetized, and it kind of fixed to itself. I might eventually go for a kind of a Velcro strap, just because it's just easier, just quickly wrapping around. But you know, I've lived with this for a while, and I've got to admit, I've never had a problem with it. So, and I'm sure you won't. But it's been great, and the quality of it, you know, as I say, it's probably a brand new strap, and for a refurbished item, it's phenomenal. In terms of Apple's ease of use, you know, getting the strap on and off, you press the little button here, and that's it. That's your strap off, and then you put another Apple compatible strap on, and then you just click it on like that, and you should either feel a click or something like that, and it's on as easy as that. And I've got to say, it's brilliant. I mean, those are obviously the heart rate sensors and stuff here. You've got obviously your case here, which is made of glass, and you've got your digital crown here, and your on and off button here, and also what I would consider as your back button for the apps and stuff like that. To kick things off, as it's the Nike version of the actual Apple Watch, what you've got here is the actual Nike versions of the digital face, or watch face as it were. So for example, here you get the Nike digital, the Nike analog version, which is quite nice. And the beauty of it is that in the app, which unfortunately I can't show you because I'm filming using my iPhone at the minute, you can change what's known as the complications, which to a lot of watch people, or people who love buying, you know, watches and collecting them, complications are like elements that are added to a watch face. So a complication could be a date, or a kind of a chronograph or something like that. Or anything like that. But in this instance, the complications here, so for example, are my emails, which is what you get here as notifications. Also, let me just go back. The fitness, which is what I'll move on to in a minute. And also you can kind of add elements like a date, weather, stuff like that. And on some of the watch faces, you can add a lot more than that. Like for example, Siri will automatically come up with news or anything like that. And obviously the coronavirus is the big topic of recent times, but you can add all sorts of stuff to it, like weather and stuff like that. And with the Siri one, it'll intelligently add things that it thinks you might need to see or might need to be aware of. So it is a cracking kind of thing to just look at on at your wrist straight away. So for example, here, this is the activity digital face, and you've got the actual time with the seconds and stuff, and some of the things that you've done fitness wise. So for example, here, you know, you've got the amount of calories you've burnt, the exercise, and the amount of times you've stood up, and obviously you can tap on it and it will take you to them things. You just tap up down, and then you can change like to a load of different numerals and stuff like that, and utility. And when I was saying about complications, again, that's a complication, that would be a complication, date, stuff like that. But you can change these things on the phone, and you know, obviously it'll transmit what you want to change directly to your watch, and that includes the color as well. You can change the color combinations of your watch face. And here's another one, which is Mickey Mouse, which is a famous one on the Apple Watch, as it were. And you can change it to Minnie Mouse as well if you're a lady who likes that thing, or if you're like a gentleman who likes Minnie Mouse as well. It's totally up to you. And I think if you double tap,
1 o'clock. Good afternoon.
if you do double tap on it,
1 o'clock. It's 1 o'clock.
you can hear a kind of a voice version of it using Mickey Mouse's voice, which is a nice little fun element to it. But my preference is for the Nike Digital, because what I like about it is that you've got the big kind of numerals there. You've got your quick access to the fitness, and you got email, and you got the date straight away. And also, one of the complications you can't change on this watch face is the Nike Run Club, or the Nike app on this, as it were, this complication. And this ties up with the app on the phone, and obviously the app on the watch, it'll activate straight away. Now, I don't use that primarily because I don't do much running or anything like that at the minute, but later on in the line, when I start to get back on the cycling or just do a bit more intensive sport, then this definitely will be an added plus. Now, if I just come out of that and come out of that and tap on the digital crown, this will take you to the apps, and what you can see here is a multitude of apps that have come with the Nike version, or the Nike version of the Apple Watch. And in this instance, the ones that I tend to find useful is this one here for fitness. So when you do a little walk, if you want to do a couple of mile walk, you just tap on that, or it will come up when it identifies that you are kind of out walking for a while. It will say, do you want to record this as a workout, which is a handy little feature. But I tend to just tap on it before I do a mile walk or 2 mile walk, just so it records what I'm doing, my heart rate and stuff like that. And also it's good for looking back on and stuff. You've got the outdoor run, you've got cycle, you've got indoor walk. It's strange, indoor run, cycling indoor. Never really used them, but it'd be interesting to see how they work. But they are helpful, and you can just swipe it out of memory like that. Also, I tend to use. You can view your heart rate, which is quite handy. Obviously, the activity, which is what we were talking about earlier. This is where it kind of, this is a really great part of this watch, I find, and that's when you can kind of see at a glance, at a quick graphic glance, where you're at with your set goal. So I've set a goal here, which when I scroll down, so my calories, I've said I want to burn 620 calories a day. I want my exercise to be the 30-minute minimum, which is kind of the standard minimum for people, depending on your preference to exercise. But my minimum, I like to try and do 30 minutes a day. And stand, I've done, I think it's 5 times in 12-hour period I've done so far. So, and it kind of breaks it down into a kind of a graph version of what you've done. Total steps today, and I've walked apparently a 1.13 miles, which I find quite weird because I haven't left the house really, or the place where this is filmed, and the amount of flights of stairs climbed. So it's quite interesting that. But what I love is that this kind of gives you a visual representation of what you've done so far, and you can also get awards based on what you've done in the month or in the week. So like, for example, here, my monthly challenges, if I tap on one, in December I earned this award by going 54.8 miles walking and stuff like that, which is really nice, and it's a nice little feature. And plus what happens is when you let me pop back to when you've closed one of the rings, you get kind of like what would be a Catherine wheel type firework to say, well done, you've closed the rings, and this is it's really well done. Also, what you will get is throughout the day you will get a little tap, because the other great feature of this watch is that it has got a lovely, great little kind of vibration motor in there, or taptic engine they call, or haptic engine I believe they call it, where it just taps you on the wrist to say, come on, you did well yesterday, let's do well today. Or it'll say, another notification from the activity app to say you're doing really well, but you need, let's close the rings and stuff. It's really encouraging kind of things for your fitness. So I do think as a selling point to this watch, it is phenomenal, just this part alone. And it was one of the reasons why I got this, which other than obviously getting a notification, which I'll quickly talk about in a minute, the other part as well is just health wise really, which is not not the alarm, though it is handy, the alarm, I've got to admit, is sorry, I'm pressing all sorts of buttons here. It's the heart app. No, it's not. I don't know. It's measuring my. It's going to obviously it'll come up with an error at the minute because it's looking via the two LEDs here for a kind of a way of measuring my wrist and stuff like that. But what it will show is that your resting heart rate, your walking average, which is quite interesting, and also it shows like a graph or as a representation of your heart rate through the day, which can be handy. And also this thing will keep an eye on any kind of irregularities in your heart rate. So if your heart rate spiked for any known reason, so if you've been sat down doing nothing and then suddenly your heart rate's gone through the roof, or you've got a low heart rate, it will alert you to say, there's something a bit amiss here. It might be worth getting medical or professional medical advice. So I mean, I've turned that option on, and I do find that quite handy really, because your heart rhythm can be an indication of stroke or anything like that, or it doesn't highlight a heart attack or anything like that, but it will give an indication of saying something's not right here. It might be worth just getting yourself checked, which is a great little feature of this watch. Any other features worth talking about? The walkie-talkie is quite interesting, which is this yellow one here. At first it's novel. I mean, I set it up with my wife, and we can push to talk. So when you push your finger on the button to talk, like a walkie-talkie, your voice will your voice will be projected on your wife's or the other partner's watch who's tied up with this watch. Like you've got to obviously link up as friends and stuff, or users, and it will, the voice will happen. Your voice will be transmitted to her watch, or the other watch, Apple Watch user's watch, and it was novel at first, but if you're in a meeting and stuff like that, that could be problematic, especially if your wife's after milk or anything that's asking where pants and socks are or where you've put the wash in. So you may not use this, but it was a novel little thing at the time, which was good. The other thing is, well, you can use this watch to pay for things using kind of near field communications, I believe it's called. So you can kind of tap to pay using Apple Pay, which is really handy. But I mean, I've turned that feature off, but I use it on my phone, and I've never pulled my card out for ages now, and I just find it a great little feature. But on the watch, you can do it, and it is pretty handy, but it's something I've never really bothered with. And also you got your scheduling here to see what's going on. I mean, obviously St. Patrick's Day, because this is filmed a couple of days beforehand, so it does kind of give you an idea of what's been scheduled today, which is handy. And also you've got kind of reminders. Let's see what else you've got. You've got a multitude of stuff that's already preloaded on this watch. Google Maps, or Apple Maps, sorry. I know they kind of not fell out, but they don't use Google Maps as something preloaded. And also a calculator, which is again handy if you want to work out tips, or if you want to work out something like square footage or anything like that. It is good. As well as that, you got your weather, and you got all sorts. I mean, as I say, I didn't want to really talk about the features on this watch, but the one other feature I did want to talk about, I mean, there's two. You've got the Apple Store where you can download apps, and also you can control, if you're out listening to music via your phone, you can control the phone, or you can put music on here and use your Bluetooth headphones to listen to music via the watch, which is great. The other thing as well is notifications. Now on here, as you can see, I do WordPress development in my as it were, my other life, and you do get notifications here of emails and stuff, whatever you set up to be notified of. And you can turn off a lot of the notifications as well, because sometimes it can get annoying, especially if it can disturb your concentration. Other than that, notifications, I'm just trying to think if there's anything else. Oh yeah, phone calls. You can use this to call, as long as your phone's kind of in the vicinity of this watch. I mean, it's the non-cellular version here, hence why there's no red kind of digital crown here. But you can use it to call people. which is quite interesting. I mean, I've used it to receive calls here. It's been a bit hit or miss with the reception, and it's all right if you want to just answer a call and stuff like that. You know, because your phone's in the other room and you're doing something in the kitchen or cooking or whatever, and you know, it says again it's a phone call from your partner asking, you know, do we need milk or anything like that, and you can just quickly answer yes or no, or you know, you have a quick conversation there. Not ideal for being, no doubt, on the bus annoying people, but you know, each to their own really. The other thing with the notifications, as it were, is that, say for example you receive a text message and stuff, you can reply to the text messages with predetermined answers, which is good. And also you can use Siri, so if you want to reply to a message but you don't want to use your hands, or you don't want to use the kind of touch screen to kind of write, kind of make out the letters of a word and stuff like that, you can get Siri, or you press the microphone part and you can dictate a text message to the sender of to the recipient of the message, and it is quite intuitive really. It does kind of pick up what you're saying. I've sent messages back to my partner or my friends and stuff like that, saying, you know, answers to their texts and stuff, and it has replicated what I've said verbally as such. So it is good like that, and I just think it's you know, it's a nice little touch. What it's like to own, I've got to say, I've really enjoyed owning this watch. I mean, I've never had a problem with it. It's comfortable, it's easy to use, even though it's got quite not a bulky profile to it. It's not thin by any stretch of the imagination, but it's been really good. I've never had a problem with it. It's never kind of let me down. Battery wise, I've got it to last a couple of days through, you know, light to moderate use. I don't have a lot of things on it, and again, I keep it quite stock when it comes to the apps and stuff, so that might be part of it. But other than that, it's been a really good timepiece, and especially with the notifications, it's been phenomenal for that, and the fitness. Now, for the price I paid, you know, I've got to ask myself, would I buy it again? And I would personally recommend one of these. I think they're really good. The thing is, the only thing that I will say, that with this type of watch, or with this kind of technology and stuff, it may be a watch that you don't have for like 10-20 years to give to, you know, your kind of siblings or your family, you know, like a family heirloom and stuff, because these are kind of what technological items, which, as with technology throughout the ages, it's so fast and things change and upgrade so quickly. I think you might find with these type of watches that, you know, it's probably got like a 5 to 7 year lifespan, and then you'll eventually, you know, be that slow and stuff like that. But again, I'm just talking hypothetically here, because Apple do still kind of support the Series 1, even though it won't do. Sorry.
Unfortunately, I'm unable to perform that task.
There you go. You can get Siri to work for you as well. Just a impromptu example. But that aside, I've got to say, I mean, I've had it for 6 months. I've had up to 6 months really. I've had no problems with it. It takes 2 days. It lasts for 2 days. Takes a couple of hours to charge, and it's been brilliant. Now, again, as I say, would I buy this? I would buy it again, and I would go refurb on these, because especially from Apple Refurb. I don't know about the likes of other refurbed outlets. I probably wouldn't go that way, but through Apple, I've never had a problem. You can pick them up in the store. You know, you can order it to be picked up in store. It comes with the 1 year Apple Care, I believe, or is it 6 months Apple Care? I'm not too sure. You'd have to look on the website for that. But it does come, you know, with the Apple guarantee, and you know that it's been certified by Apple engineers. They've put new parts in and stuff like that, and it really is kind of a watch worth having really from Apple Refurb. You know, just to quickly finalise this video, I would buy another one of these. Brilliant watch. So thank you for watching. I hope you liked the video, and I hope I haven't waffled on too long. And if you like what you see, then please give it a cheeky like, thumbs up. And if you want to see more videos from We Try Anything, then please tap on the subscribe button and bell notification if you want to receive notifications of any new videos coming up soon. Thank you for watching, and look forward to seeing you on the next video. Goodbye.